Feature Friday.
The freshest. Exciting! So this is one of the 3 songs from Guilty Pleasure that you guys wanted us to check out, and this is Bless You. The song is actually written by Hwasa and Park Woo-sang, and it's one of the songs that you want us to check out the most. And
Yeah. Certainly collaborative writing. I have no issue with that. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is obviously when projects aren't written by them, especially when they're solos.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan. It can be cool, and that's fine. But one of the reasons why I truly like Hwasa is her heavy involvement in most of her projects and everything she's involved in. Yeah. You can certainly tell. So let's give this a watch.
That's right. Oh, exciting.
So the translations?
Yeah.
It's not all in English though, is it?
No. It's a combination of English and Korean.
세상이 흔들리는 것 같았어 realize me 눈물이 고였던 이 꼬리를 난 아무렇지도 않게 너의 그 아픈 미소에
Listen, her vocals are impeccable.
She has such a recognizable sound.
Yes, and it's a very it's something that you don't hear often. It's actually what makes the greatest. That they've got a very distinct,
unique
sound to them. Yeah. Hwasa is one of them for me.
I think that's why it's important, and I do want to highlight, like, there's obviously good projects out there that I enjoy that are not written by the people who perform it. I mean, certainly a lot of them, but the reason why it gives me another level of admiration, it's because it's very difficult to write. That's a very difficult thing to do. It's very difficult to arrange. It's a very fucking difficult thing to do. So when they take on this challenge, given the pressure, the immense amount of people involved, the responsibility to take on that challenge and then see it all the way through, it has to be placed in another category of admiration, in my eyes at least.
I agree.
And yeah, it usually shines through better anyways.
I think it's an easier translation as well into what was going on in their heads and how they perceive the world and how the human layers to this artist that we admire so much from afar. And I think it's bridging that gap between the idol, the image, and the listener, the fan, right? So and in a very personal, in a very vulnerable way. Yeah. It's beautiful. Overall, I love when she goes in depth in her lyricism. And what I read is that even though the lyricism, the lyrics are collaborative co-written by Park Woo-sang, the majority of the song is hers. Yeah. So like the whole thought process, everything about it is hers.
Good. Collaborative writing is fine. Like, brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean it.
That's right.
What did I do?
You lied to me.
What weird chord progression.
Beautiful chord progression.
It's uneasy.
You know my mind, I know my mind. 작게 못해지는 하루의 날
Nah, vibe. Put that bit back.
Yeah, so fine. Don't worry. 작게 못해 bless you.
What a cool
I love Korean with English, so it mixed.
Yeah, so fine. Don't worry. Good morning. 너의 그 예쁜 눈빛이 나를 바보로 만들어. 때론 달콤한 덫을 안에서 이제야 뒤도는 거는 You lied to me.
Oh, I love it.
이제 너는 somebody 실수도 예뻤던 날 나를 들고 돌아 이제 않을 건데 I
like,
It's a very, 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 very good track.
It's a great track, and I love the intricate lyricism that you really have to like put yourself in her shoes, and like the whole thinking of it, the thinking process. That's what I love when the artist writes. So because is their perspectives is the world through their eyes.
That's a good conversation, perhaps, to have with you guys. I have to say, we probably don't say this enough, but I'm so grateful about all the conversations we have on the comments and stuff. I genuinely try to reply. I know that my comments don't get seen because I'm not like Ballet's profile. It's not like
so you don't get a notification.
Yeah. But do watch out. I usually try and reply to a lot of you guys, and Ballet does as well.
Yeah.
But I read a lot. Mostly I read because then it feels unfair if I don't reply to anyone. But it's awesome to see when we do go in depth in reviews and stuff, and there's things that we like, there's things that we dislike, there's things that we highlight, there's things that we think could have been done better. And hearing your feedback and what you like, and it's truly amazing because I'm learning how other people appreciate music.
That's right.
In the thousands, which is fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't even think my brain can comprehend that.
No, it's a tough concept.
Here's a question. How do you feel about, this seems to be a theme in the, especially in the South Korean music industry, which it's one of the best industries without a doubt. I think I can say that confidently in the world currently. But one of the things that they do differently is that co-writing and giving writers and ghostwriters credit, and that's fine. But the artist doesn't specifically have to write their solo projects or anything like that. What are your opinions on that matter? And then how do you also judge when the artist, for example, someone like Hwasa or someone like Dio or someone like who else has done this recently?
Oh, freaking
BM from Monster X, CL, these guys that like to write. Jesse, these guys that like to write.
BTS.
Yeah, do you kind of hold them to a different set of critics? Like judgment, or do you not care? Does it matter? All those things are really interesting to me to listen from other people. I've expressed my thoughts in the previous podcast as well. It's like, it's fine. It doesn't add, it doesn't diminish. However, it can only add if you wrote it yourself.
I think the ultimate, for me, from my perspective, the ultimate question is, does it translate? Are you actually connected to the piece?
Because I want to know the person, right?
Of course, but are you actually connected to the piece? Because if you are, if the artist is, and it allows you to connect yourself to the concept, to the visual aesthetic, to everything that they're trying to portray, if that transition is easy for my brain and I am not creating any resistance, then I don't mind.
Yeah.
But I have
that means the vision has to be really well set out by the singer too, which is a skill on its own.
It's terribly difficult. I mean, there's plenty of projects that prove otherwise. But in this particular concept, the thing why I don't have a problem with it in the Korean music industry is because it often translates really well.
Well, they're really well made.
Whether it's written by them or not, whether it's co-written or co-produced by them, whether they had anything to do with the process itself. I think it only, like you said, it only adds more value to the finished product when they have been heavily involved in the making of the whole track.
Different skill sets also required for both.
Indeed.
I do think the skill set that requires a higher pedigree and I guess experience, it's writing, but it's also a skill on its own to recreate or showcase the vision of the original writer in a manner that you can interpret it your own way, but you also want to play tribute to the actual writer. That's a skill on its own. They both deserve credit, for sure.
It's hard.
But the question is, perhaps, does it matter to you? Do you think one deserves more than the other? Because that's also a fair argument.
It's true.
But I'd love to hear those thoughts. And apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this review. We will continue to review more of her tracks. I think there's only one more, right?
One left, yeah.
And also, how do you feel about that? Can we fucking address that?
It's too little!
Well, Lisa did the same too, right? Hwasa is now 3. I'm nervous for Kai.
I
have to say, I'm very nervous.
I think it's gonna be like a 3-track album.
So I'm not a fan of this shit. I want more. But
here's the thing.
I don't want 20.
I was gonna say, can we get a balance?
I want 5 in an EP. I want 5 or 6. That's fine. In an album, I want 10. 10, 11, 12.
No,
You don't-
I think 10 is a hard match.
Even
for me.
8, it's fine. You don't have to give me 27. That's heavily problematic. So that's 2 good questions, and perhaps let's have a conversation in the comments. Apart from that, guys, lovely to see you again, and goodbye.